So I hope the quality is coming out okay. Oh, can you see my little puppy? Noe. She's so funny. She always comes when I go. My other dogs don't do that. They just ignore me. So this is the latest member of the family. Come here, baby girl. Come here. So she's a little dramatic. Don't. This is Noe. And I just got her. She's still a puppy, but she's grown a bit since we got her. I was kind of hoping that she would just stay small, but she's a husky. She's not gonna stay small. So I'm pretty much a newbie. I started watching Good Trouble like 2 months ago. I stumbled upon it on Hulu and I've been obsessed with it ever since. And I was trying to not binge everything all at once because I knew there were, I think this is the 4th season that just came out. So I was like, okay, take your time, don't binge watch it, because I liked it so much that I didn't want to just watch it all in like one sitting basically. But then I realized that the 4th season was coming out and I was like, oh no, I need to literally watch it all before it premieres because I want to watch it like right away. So I already didn't like the way the 3rd season ended because it almost felt like a what do they call it when it's like when they stop a season like mid-season and then they start it again. I forget what it's called, but it was weird that they just left it. You know, you didn't know what happened in court with Anthony's case and everything, like nothing got resolved in anyone's lives. So I was just feeling so empty. Like, how could you do that to the audience? You know, obviously you're gonna make people want to tune in, but I felt like it was a little too much. Like, it was so disruptive that I was like, what the hell? You didn't give us anything, you know? Like, I don't know how anything ends or what happens or anything like that. So it starts off with Alice FaceTiming Sumi, and we know she's on the road opening for Margaret Cho. So it kind of makes me think, like, is Alice not really going to be a part of this season anymore? Because she's just going to be on the road. And so since Alice is the manager of the coterie, she leaves Sumi in charge, who is kind of going overboard. But I mean, hey, you have to run people's credit and do the most. But when Gael tells her that he wants to take the extra lock for Isabella, you know, she tells him that she needs like the first month's rent and then the deposit and the last month's rent and all this stuff. And it's like, if you know he's lived there for a while, if you know he's good for it, why are you making him like give you all of that? You know, it's kind of annoying. So Gael wants to pay for the lock for Isabella because Isabella is obviously pregnant with his child, and she got an offer in, I think, Santa Barbara from a friend who was willing to let her stay at their place, and they were going to offer her a job. So she was like, I might as well go over there, it's not that far, and just stay there up until the baby is born, and then I guess maybe come back. I'm not sure. It kind of cuts to Isaac popping back up in Malika's life, and then Deontay delivering flowers for Malika, I think, because it was her first day back at work. So they finally go back into the courtroom and they show the verdict, and the jury found Anthony not guilty. And what's interesting here that comes into play later is that Callie's outside, I think, ordering coffee and talking with Jamie, and he tells her that he feels like there's more to the story and that he doesn't trust anyone that can cry on cue. And it just flashes back to Anthony crying, and then Kathleen saying something like, good boy, he's really selling it, or something like that. And so when they showed that originally in that episode last season, I was kind of like, what does she mean by that? You know, I was kind of confused. And then the FBI interrupts their talk and asks where Kathleen is. They tell Callie, since Callie's her lawyer now, that she needs to make herself available to more questions within 24 hours or she's gonna get arrested, and so will Callie. So Kathleen meets Callie back at the coterie, and I love their like little bond. Like, Callie's clearly super annoyed by her because she's, you know, bitches at her and tells her why isn't she being honest with her. And I hope they don't cut Kathleen's character short because I really like her. I think she's super funny. She's a boss ass B, and she brings so much to the show that I'd like to see like how her character develops and just more of her in general. What's going on? So then Callie asks Kathleen if you know, she talked with Ken because, you know, as long as Anthony was found not guilty, he was supposed to give her proof of life for his sister Denise, so that the FBI kind of just gets off Kathleen's back. We saw in the last season that her old partner gave the FBI her books, and we didn't understand why she was kind of tripping off that, because it's like, what do those books have that the FBI, that you could get in trouble with to the FBI? And so she opens up and tells Callie the truth and tells her that Kathleen took money out from Albert Chen's retainer and gave it to Denise so that she could start a new life, you know, change her identity and do all of that. So in reality, she did something really good for Denise because she didn't want Albert to kill her, but it's not legal. Even though what she did was, you know, she saved that woman's life, but you know, that's not how the FBI sees it. They're like, you did something illegal and you gotta go to jail. So now, in order to keep Kathleen out of jail, Callie is gonna have to convince Denise's brother and Denise to give the FBI something that will put Albert in jail forever. Kathleen tells Callie that the reason that she didn't tell her the truth from the beginning was because she did something stupid and illegal, and she didn't want Callie to lose respect for her. And she also said she was scared. So I just feel so bad for Kathleen. I really don't want anything to happen to her. So then Callie has that talk with Ken, Anthony's father, to try to convince him, you know, and for Denise to basically give them something to put Albert in jail. And he obviously tells her there's no way he's going to do that because he needs to protect his sister, because Albert, you know, if Albert finds out where she is, he's going to kill her. So then Mariana and Evan go to dinner. And last season, their story kind of left off with Jackie. So we saw Jackie and Evan, like the woman who's supposed to like fund the new app. We saw them together while he was texting Mariana to meet up. So I didn't understand that at all. I was like, why the fuck are they together? Like, are they sleeping together? Like, what's going on? Because Evan's not like that, you know. Evan, I was like, Evan's still in love with Mariana. He's not gonna like do anything to fuck her up. First thing he tells her is that he adopted a turtle. He's so cute. I love Evan and Mariana. Like, I really hope they can like work it out and hopefully get back together again. So Evan tells Mariana that Jackie asked him if he felt like Mariana could be trusted. So Mariana asked him if he knew that Jackie was ripping off Bulk Beauty, and he tells her that he actually didn't know and he doesn't approve of that. He tells her that he doesn't understand why she would try to get a job at Revitalize and backstab basically her friends at Bulk Beauty. You could tell that Evan and Mariana both wanted each other to kind of open up and just like say like how they were feeling, and neither of them did. I obviously knew Evan wasn't going to, because he's already like doesn't have like social skills like that, so he wasn't going to be the first one to say it. So Mariana should have said it, but of course she didn't. Then we see Callie and Tommy like drinking a beer together, and Tommy opens up and tells her the truth, because we already knew he trusted Callie. But in that moment, we find out that he actually did accidentally kill Zach. So I was just like mindfucked, because the whole time I was like, this kid is innocent. And it was an accident, right? It's not like he meant to kill him. So Anthony says that he's the one that went to the drop off because after the fight, he just wanted, I guess, to get away. And that Zach is the one that followed him there and still wanted to continue fighting. And that's when I guess Tommy, you know, shoved him and he fell. And I guess he like left after that and didn't even know that Zach had died until like he heard about it later on. So he literally admits to Callie that he killed Zach. So Sumi and Gael come to an agreement to sublet Alice's loft while she's gone to Isabella, and they tell Isabella that it's free, but in reality Gael is going to be the one paying for it, because again, he doesn't want her to leave. Isabella tells him basically, thanks but no thanks, because I still need a job. So she pretty much still seems like she wants to take the offer back in Santa Barbara. Dennis ends up having a soft opening with his food truck, and it flashes back. So the thing about this show too is that it flashes back and forth a lot. So if I take my eyes off the screen for like 5 seconds, I'm like, wait, what did just happen? And I have to rewind, because I'm like, did this happen now, or was this like back then, like it kind of confuses you with the way it kind of jumps from time to time. He sees Davia and it flashes back to a conversation that they had where basically Davia ends things. They weren't really together, but you know, it was kind of complicated. And I don't know why Davia keeps like trying to push Dennis away. I really wanted them to get together, and then Dennis kind of went away on that retreat, and then I was sad because I thought they were actually going to cut out his character, because his character is probably one of my favorite from the show. I feel so much like sympathy, and like, oh my god, every single time he like talks about his son, it's just like a very sad story. But I love that he's kind of coming back together as a person and living life again. And Davia's a big part of that, but she, I don't know, she keeps fighting it and she's annoying me a little bit. So at the soft opening, Malika's there with her friends and she basically fills them in on Isaac popping back up out of nowhere and basically telling her he wants her back, and she rejects him and tells him that, you know, she'll always love him, but that she's moved on with her life and she's invested in other relationships. And I mean, I feel so bad for Isaac, but it's kind of like she was willing to, you know, just be committed to you, and you couldn't really deal with, I guess, her honesty, and he chose to like basically kind of run away. I mean, it is what it is. Malika moved on, and I'm excited to see where her relationship goes with Deontay and with Angelica. Then we get a glimpse of the new member of the coterie. His name is Joaquin, and he's apparently a journalist. And so of course Mariana goes up to him and she's like, you know, I gotta introduce myself. She obviously thought he was cute. She wanted to flirt. So she goes up to him, starts asking him about his job, and he kind of like answers very vaguely and then responds with a question to her question, and the conversation just keeps going back and forth like that. And so she basically calls him out and she's like, do you always answer a question with another question? And he's like, I thought we were just having a conversation. And she's like, you're obviously into playing games. And he basically tells her like, maybe I'm just not into like spilling all my business to a stranger, and he was just trying to redirect the convo. And she says like, you should have just been honest with me, like if you don't want to talk, like just say that. And he was like, well, since we're being honest, I am seeing someone. And she's like so offended. And it's like, girl, you know why you went up there. You were obviously trying to flirt with him. And he basically friend-zoned you and was like, no, I'm good. It's safe to say she wasn't too happy about him kind of being her new neighbor. Well, not neighbor, roommate, neighbor. So it seems like Isabella is going to end up moving into the coterie for good. Or at least until Alice is away, I guess. Because Dennis ends up offering her a job at his food truck because she clearly has some experience with that. So if she has a place to live and a job, then that means she can stay and she doesn't need to leave anymore. So we see Davia having a Zoom call with Matt, and she opens up and tells him that she's not confused anymore about Dennis, that she knows that she wants to be with Matt. And he's super like serious, like poker face, and basically tells her that he feels like she's still in love with Dennis, and that he basically like, I want someone who's gonna know they want to be with me, not someone who's gonna take like weeks to figure it out. And so basically dumps her. Well, they weren't really together either, but you know, complicated situation. So I don't know if this means she's going to go back to Dennis. I hope they work it out because I think they're really cute together. But I have a feeling they're not going to work it out though. I have a feeling she's just going to start dating someone new, and he's going to meet someone and start dating them, and it's just going to go that way. So then it ends with Callie having a talk with Jamie, and she basically apologizes to him and tells him that now she understands more of where he was coming from. That she always saw everyone as like black and white, but now she understands that everyone kind of lives in this gray area. And so she understands that sometimes you have to do something that you don't necessarily agree with. So now we have another flashback to when she was having that conversation with Tommy when he admitted to killing Zach, and we see that she was actually secretly recording Tommy. So then we see that she goes back to Tommy's dad, what's his name? Ken, and basically, you know, kind of blackmails him and is like, well, you know, I'm gonna do something with this if you don't do what I asked you to do. And he says, well, you know, they already found him not guilty. They can't try him again, you know, because of double jeopardy. And she says, yeah, that's true, but she can send that recording to Zach's family and they can actually sue in civil court for wrongful death, and you know, that'll fuck up all of Tommy's life. She tells him the ball is in your court. So we don't really see what happens after that. We'll see more of that in the next episode, but I have a feeling he's going to do what she said, and hopefully Kathleen will be out of jail and we can continue seeing them working together, even though I'm really not sure about that, because in the end of the episode, while Jamie's talking with Callie, she talks about how she needs to make some big changes. She says something like, maybe you can have it all, and in order to have it all, she's going to need to make some big changes. And then Jamie asks how big, and she says big. So I don't know what that means. I was very confused by that. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What do you have up your sleeve? I don't understand. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm very excited that Good Trouble is back. And I'll be doing these recap up until the end of the season. Hopefully they give us a long season. I think maybe the first one was probably the shortest. But I hope they also renew it for another season because it's my new favorite show right now and I want it to stay forever. But yeah, that is the end of this recap. Now that I finished recording, my dogs all want to be chill. They're all sleeping right now. I'm like, really? Y'all were making hella noise earlier and now you guys are dead asleep. Anyways, tune in to see more recaps. Hopefully this video isn't like blurry because you know, I can't really see from where I'm sitting and I'm wearing contacts, but even with contacts I don't have 20/20 vision. And then just do other videos. I don't want to only do recap videos. I want to do like, you know, little Target hauls. I've been trying to be so good with not going to Target because I'm just like, I go to Target honestly like a lot, like 4 times a week. Okay, there's 7 days in a week. I don't need to be at Target 4 days out of the week, but I am. And so I'm like, okay, I've been very strict with myself like this whole like week. Even last week I didn't really go. I went like, I think like twice. It's also where I get my dog's food, so it's kind of like I have to keep going back because I feed them like fresh food, so like it doesn't last long. It lasts like 5.5 days, so I do have to, you know, kind of keep going to that and make sure that I have it in stock, because sometimes when I go they don't have it there, so then it's like, ugh, I have to keep going back until I see it in stock, even though I think I can go to PetSmart for it, but who wants to go to PetSmart? So that was it for this recap. I will be back next week